And here to help us break down Trump's cases is Robert Henneke, Executive Director and General Counsel at the Texas Public Policy Foundation. Robert Henneke, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So Trump and his 18 co-defendants will be arraigned in Georgia next Wednesday. The current calendar suggests that Trump will be embroiled in all of these different cases in courtrooms from Miami to New York during election season. And Trump's legal team has been trying to push out these dates. With so many cases going on at once, are judges likely to side with these requests?
Well, they haven't so far. And let's keep in mind that the process is the punishment. A lot of this next year is aimed at seeking to deny Trump being reelected as president and to influence the political outcome. But it's also the opportunity for President Trump to get on the offense, as we saw with the way that he leveraged his photograph from his booking from last week into his political advantage. So now these cases have moved forward. It's certainly the chance for President Trump to be fighting back in the court proceedings as he stands for his innocence.
And now for the D.C. case, a trial date has been set for March 4th, 2024. That's one day before Super Tuesday, and March is also when Trump is set to be in court in New York in trial for the charges on alleged falsification of business records. And because of this timing, is there grounds for the judge to push out that case specifically?
There should be. I mean, the judges, if they're really seeking justice, would not be setting these cases to overlap with the political calendar. Keep in mind that the prosecutors in Georgia wanted to have their trial set for March 4th, which is the day before Super Tuesday next year. They didn't get that. So then another case that's going after President Trump, the one in D.C. this time, set their trial date for that. So it's obviously intended to influence the political calendar and the electorate and lining up with that. But it's, I think, making it more evident to the American people how these cases are really an abusive process and abuse of power, the more that these prosecutors in Florida and Georgia and D.C. and New York want to misuse their power to affect the election. It's just going to be even more transparent and obvious to voters as they are making the decision on who to elect in 2024.
And now, in terms of the Georgia case, lawyers for Mark Meadows are making their arguments to a federal judge in Atlanta today to move the case from state to federal. How would that impact the case?
It would certainly delay indefinitely the Georgia state case from proceeding forward. If the removal of the case to federal court divests the state court of jurisdiction. And so the case would be transferred to federal court, and the state courts in Georgia would lose their authority over that while the federal court case proceeded. So we'll wait to see on that. Certainly one possibility is that the outcome of the removal could be appealed, could be litigated even further. So that could further push off the timing of when the Georgia criminal cases would be allowed to proceed forward.
And now this Georgia case is on racketeering charges, different from all the other indictments. What does each side have to prove in this?
It's twofold. Well, first of all, President Trump and his co-defendants don't have to prove anything. They are entitled to the presumption of innocence under our Constitution. They are innocent until proven guilty, and it's the Fulton County prosecutor that has the sole burden to prove all of the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, the racketeering charge is basically two elements. One is that there was a criminal objective in mind that was brought by an organization of individuals. Now, I think the case is flawed for both of those reasons. The criminal objective allegedly was President Trump disagreeing with the outcomes of the 2020 election and then attempting to use legal means to challenge those results. That's not a crime. There's also no criminal organization at issue. A candidate and their lawyers and their consultants and their campaign is not an organized criminal entity. It's just a campaign. And so the theory of these racketeering charges that were brought by the Georgia prosecutor factually and legally are very thin. And what it just shows is another attempt to use the power of the criminal justice system to attack a political rival.
Robert Henneke, thank you so much for your time.
Great to be with you.